I've been gripped by anxiety this week. I was telling my Patreons in our live stream on Thursday that I've literally had a panic attack every single day this week. And it's debilitating. It leaves me exhausted, emotionally distraught, and confused. It comes from a variety of different things. But one thing that struck me this morning was that the fruit of the Spirit is peace. And so a direct fruit of being in the Spirit, of being closely tied to God, would be peace. Like drawing near to God, seeking God, diving into His Word should lead me to have peace. So this morning in my Bible study, I read John 15, but I ran out of time to really dive deep. So I figured, let's do that together today. You can watch me Bible journal. You can kind of see how I study the Bible as a seminary student. I've got some tools or even resources in my tool belt, but really at the end of the day, like for my daily quiet time and my daily Bible study, it really just kind of looks like what you're gonna see. So watch me Bible journal or even study the Bible with me, but let's dive in. In a few weeks, I'll be hosting the church Easter egg hunt. Not at my house, but at the church, I'm planning it and trying to figure out food and decorations and Easter eggs and all of that good stuff. One of my favorite things is to watch the kids really get excited about those silly traditions that don't really have a whole lot of theological groundings. Like the silly Easter bunny stuff and going on Easter egg hunts and just enjoying, surrounding the holiday that could at times be really heavy with joy. I love watching kids run around and hunt down Easter eggs. And I remember myself having a lot of fun with it. I remember one year my mom put an Easter egg between the horns of one of the goats at the farm. And it was like the funniest thing. We talk about it every single Easter after because you can't catch up with Billy. He's just running away with an egg stuck between his horns and nobody was ever able to get that egg. And so all that to say, sometimes it feels like in our Bible studies, it's almost like we're on an Easter egg hunt. We're like, okay, God, I'm gonna need you to fill this hole in my life. Like for me, it might be like, God, I need some of your peace. I need some of your calming presence. And so I might be tempted today to dive into John 15 with that ambition to kind of get something from God. You don't go to God with a motive. We run to God in full dependence and in need of Him. And what comes from that is what comes for His glory. It's not about us getting something from Him. Back in middle school, I was reading a devotional book and the writer said, God is not a vending machine. You don't put time in with Jesus and get out something. And I loved that imagery of God being a vending machine because I think that's all of our defaults. We're like, okay, if I know how to Bible study right, I'll get that peace. And that's how I feel today. That's like a good little prayer. Like, hey God, maybe can you do this? But at the end of the day, honestly, when we dive into God's word, it's really gotta be like, God, I wanna know you more, period, done. So I'm kind of mainly saying this for myself, but I think it's always good to check ourselves before we dive into God's word and make sure that we don't have any preconceived needs or ambitions of what we're going to get out of the Bible study. All right, so today I'll be in John 15. I know already from reading it earlier this morning that it has basically two parts. The first part is that He is the vine and we're called to abide in Him. And the second part is that the world will hate us. I'm mainly going to be looking at that first part. I know it's a really juicy section, He is the vine, He's the vine dresser. We're supposed to lean into Jesus and cling to Him and abide in Him, all that good stuff. But I don't know, I could really use a little bit of a deep dive into that passage. First up, I'm going to use my main commentary for the year, the Bible Knowledge Commentary, and just go verse by verse. Normally I would read through the passage first, but I've already done that. right, I've been filming for like almost an hour now, so I better call it quits here and start making some lunch. But let me walk you through the notes I took and what I got out of just simply looking at commentaries, reading other translations, and that was kind of all I got to. Now, if I had all the time in the world, I would definitely keep going with this because this is such a meaty passage. And there's a lot of work on John. John is one of the most interesting gospels that scholars love to study, and so it's one of the easiest gospels to find a lot of good stuff on, and so that's why it was so easy for me to fill up this page really quick. There's just a lot of richness in the way that John was written. Now, if you guys want to hear more about how I study the Bible, check out this playlist. And if you guys want to hear more about how to Bible journal, like just how to Bible journal effectively, how to learn how to Bible journal well and fruitfully, check out this video. Click on these videos and I will see y'all there. Bye guys.